So I've been building my swing only extreme recently, and I'll be honest, I'm bored of just building the same swing gameplay over and over. So we're not doing that today, we're doing something completely different. What we're gonna do is we're gonna build and decorate a challenge in the smallest amount of time possible. And let me give you a bit of a spoiler now. It turned out really fucking cool, so please stay tuned. I'm gonna do something a bit different in this video. Instead of doing the really short, quick edits like I do in my usual videos, I wanna try and do a bit of a long form type of thing. So I hope you're willing to stay here and watch that. But nonetheless, let's go on to building. So right off the bat, I just decided to set a world record for the quickest time to choose a song possible. I ended up going with the song Solar Rain and getting a 26-second offset just to get nice into the drop. And then I just struggled with doing the beginning transition for a bit. Except around here is when I got it and decided to start doing the gameplay with the gameplay lines which I had just set out. And I think it was a pretty good call because it is a really satisfying gameplay, although I did tweak the gameplay a lot, so what I originally made wasn't what was in the final version, but I'd say it was pretty close and I did a pretty good job building the first bit of gameplay. But after a couple more playtests and just figuring out where the gameplay wanted to go, I was pretty happy with this first part, and I did end up changing this weird structuring here, but it was at around this point that I got pretty happy with the gameplay I had made, and I decided to transition into the next part. And for that I did a cube portal with some pads into it that transitioned into another wave portal, but this time, since we did just put a big portal, we are going to be a large wave. So when I was building the gameplay for the actual level, I didn't really put much effort into this large wave part, and I do fix that later, don't worry, but we're just going to skip by it for now basically because there's nothing noteworthy about it. But for the second and finishing wave, what I decided to do was something similar to the first, where it was a lot of control and just weird timings. I wouldn't say weird timings, I'd just say difficult timings. But I actually really love the gameplay of this part. It feels so satisfying to play. But once I did finish up the gameplay for this part, I did go back and tweak some other parts, and around here is actually when I did fix up the large wave, which I will show you now. I decided to replace it with a lot more fair and fun consistency gameplay, which I think personally saved the level, because I don't know what I would have done if I had to verify it in its old state. But with that, I basically had the gameplay completely done, so I'll show you the preview of the gameplay and we'll jump into the decoration. So although I went for quite a simple decoration style, it was still really hard for me to decorate this because if you haven't noticed, especially in Swing Sang, I don't decorate slopes well. I am so bad at decorating slopes, so this is going to either be my Mona Lisa or it's going to be a dumpster fire, and I'm really hoping it's some Mona Lisa, and spoiler alert, it was pretty cool. But around here I just added some pulses and just tried to get a nice sort of design for the blocks in place and then just spread it everywhere basically. No one likes seeing someone just spread out block design, so I sped this up to get us to the next part where things actually start to get pretty cool. So jumping forward a bit, I ended up using my favorite free decoration technique here, which is basically just placing a gradient, putting one side on, or putting the base on black blending, and putting the detail on just another blending color, and it looks awesome. You also have to put it to max and turn it on to additive blending, and then you just get free deco basically. You may have to adjust the brightness and opacity of the other colors, but as you can see here, it looks pretty cool. And for the ground spikes, I just decided to do the little spiky things that are everywhere in Supercoop and Hell. It's just nice, it fills up a lot of space, and I also made it move with the player just for some added depth, which you'll see later. And for a bit of background deco and also once again a bit more depth, what I decided to do was use this random object, stretch it out, put it on the main colors, and then just copy and paste it, slowly moving it 1 pixel in per time. Yeah, it's inefficient, but it was quick and it looked cool, so I have no apologies to give to anyone. So to finish the decoration off with the starting part, I just added a couple more details, including selecting all of these, moving them down, changing the brightness, and repeating that again. It looks sort of 9-circle-y, but I think it has its own distinction. So once I got an idea and design sorta there, what I decided to do was just spread the decoration to the other parts. I didn't want this to be too much of a task for me, so I wanted to make it nice and quick and easy, so I just repeat these designs. And I know what you're probably thinking, it does look a little bit whack right now, but I have some effects planned later, which will make it look 10 times better, I promise you. But with that, that's the main deco and block design done, so let's get on to creating some of these effects. So the first little effect I added was basically just an opening to the level. I created a little 5x5 cube of just white squares, scaled them up, turned them black, created a bunch of these copies so it filled the entire screen, and then just alpha channeled them off when the level started. So it had a nice little gradient going in, and I think it suited the level a lot. So around here I made the biggest and mainly the only mistake of the level. I tried to use glow. Although I couldn't get it to look distinct from the block design and flashy enough to the point where it would even be worth adding it. Except I ignored all of that and spent half an hour placing all of this glow in, so enjoy this little glow placing montage. While building this part, I had a very strange ambition. Yep, I put a duck in my level, and I am proud of it. It took up 2,000 objects, but it was worth it. Around here I started on, I think, my second last little effect, and what I wanted was this little thing, or a little trail to pop up where the player went. So I started out with just putting a couple bowls every now and then I added a couple scale triggers and tint triggers and alpha triggers to get it to look nice and spiffy, I guess you'd say. So once I finished that, I only had one effect that I wanted to do left, and that was basically movements to the objects. So I selected all the objects on the bottom and the top, gave them individual groups, and set up an area move where they move down 30 and up 30. I gave it a really smooth easing so it looks so nice going in, and I liked it so much I even added the same groups to the glow, which didn't really work as well. We'll get on that in a minute. But with that done, we are up to the showcase. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope maybe you learned how to create something during this video. But enjoy. I'm actually incredibly happy with how that challenge turned out, and I hope you're willing to go check it out and maybe even check out Swing Sane as well. The ID to the challenge will be up on screen now, and I'll also put it in the description. But that is all I have today. Bye.